Hi, I'm Lacey. Thank you for joining me. Today I'll be showing you step by step how to flock your Christmas tree. Now, I have a synthetic tree and I'm going to show you step by step how to get the job done. And of course, I'm going to list all the products and all the tools that you'll need to get the job done in the most efficient way possible. Now, if you didn't know, flocking gives the illusion of snow. I'm in the Caribbean, so I do not have snow. Now, a little backstory on my tree. It's what you're seeing here. Last year, I used snow in a can, is what they call it. And pretty much it's just spray paint for your tree. Now, as you can see, well, clearly the snow, it ran out on me. So I didn't even get to do all of the tree. And I didn't love it because it didn't give me the texture that I wanted. But it worked for what I needed it for at the time. But this year, I definitely wanted to flock the tree. And that's what you're about to see me do. Now, just in case you're interested in the product that I used the last year that gave more of this spray painted look that you're seeing, I will link it in my description bar so that you can purchase it on Amazon. Because like I said, it got the job done last year and it takes a lot less time and it isn't as tedious as the snow flocking powder. So before we do anything further, I'm going to need you to protect your floors. You can get an old towel, an old sheet, or any type of fabric that you won't be needing afterwards because you won't be able to use it. Now, once the powder is activated by water, the adhesive becomes activated. And so once that comes in contact with your floor, it's extremely messy and difficult to get off. So please protect your floors. I don't recommend that you use newspapers because of course once newspapers get wet, then whatever is on top of it is going to soak through. So use fabric and protect your floor. You will also need a pair of gloves to protect your hands, a spray bottle filled with water. You'll also need a sifter or what we call a strainer. You're also going to need a bowl that's a bit deep for your powder. Also, please don't wear your favorite pair of shorts or your favorite pair of jeans. You want to wear something that if it gets messed up, you won't mind. And this may be the most important tip. Please wear a mask even if you're not known to have allergies. And while you don't necessarily have to, I do recommend that you cover your hair as well. And last, but certainly not least, you will need your SnoFlock powder. I purchased this off Amazon. This is a 2-pound package and this cost me $24.95 and it will be linked in my description. Now, for added protection, I decided to cut open a garbage bag and added that to the layer of protection for my floor because I didn't think the towel was going to be enough. No, because I'm below 5 feet, I think I'm 4'10", and my tree is about 8 inches tall. I decided to remove the very top of the tree and place it in the middle so that I could get to the top better, but from in the middle. Are you following me? Yeah? Great. All right, so now that we've gotten to this point, before we start flocking, we're going to ooh, we're going to need to fluff our trees a bit. And by fluffing, we mean that you need to extend the branches because if you're like me, your tree has been sitting in the storage for almost a year. So the branches are bent, your tree looks smaller than it actually is and you're seeing a lot of space. So before we start applying our product, we want to ensure that we straighten out those branches and extend those limbs a bit. Once you've done that, you want to get some of the flocking powder inside of your bowl. We're not using all at once. We're just going to use as much as we need as we go. The texture of the powder is very fine, but what I want you to look at is the screen. As I'm running my hands through it, you can see the powder just flying so easily. So you can tell that this powder gets messy quickly. So I did a little pre-testing of the powder right there, as you can see, just so that I could see what the difference in texture would be like. Now we will be working section by section as carefully as we can. Find the area that you want to start with, mist it with water, mist it immensely, please. Then you're going to apply the powder to that very same area using one of the techniques that I'll show you, and then you'll be spraying that same area again because that locks the powder in. So in short, guys, we're applying water, then we're applying powder, and then we're applying water again to lock our powder and adhesive onto our tree. Once you place the powder, please don't forget to mist the second time. Now, if you want some areas of your tree to look like it has clumps of snow, grab some of the powder from the bowl and just kind of scrunch it onto the limbs or the area that you're working on. This is a technique I use to get that clumped up look. You know, when snow falls in a clump, it doesn't look even and pretty. It looks pretty, but it looks like clumps, and that's what I was going for most of the tree. So what you're seeing me do is just to scrunch the powder that I have on my hand onto the area. If you want a more even look, instead of grabbing onto the branches, you can sprinkle your powder instead. Also, guys, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, okay? Now, another method that you can try, even though I do think that this would be much easier if you had someone else helping you, but I didn't have anyone helping me, so I had to make it work. You can spray and at the very same time, just sprinkle the powder. So it's like you're getting two tasks done at once. No, I forgot to mention, but if you can, please do this in a properly ventilated area so that the powder is not just sitting in the atmosphere inside of the area that you're doing it. Also, I repeated all these steps several times until I got the look that I was going for, but you do not have to do this so many times. Once you reach the desired state or the desired look that you're pleased with, you can absolutely stop. But it's hard to get that in just one go. So I just went over my tree several times until I felt like it was coated enough and looking like the way I wanted it to. Another important things to note, guys, if you can do this entire project close to the area where your tree will be staying, that would be very good. You don't want to do it across the room, and when you're done flocking the tree, you find that you have to lift it and move it. Where I'm doing the flocking, that's exactly where my tree was going to be decorated. All I had to do was remove the towel or whatever I'd placed on the floor to protect it. Once you are finished or you've reached the desired look that you're going for, allow your tree to dry at least 3 hours. I allowed mine to dry overnight because I was just too tired. The entire thing took me about 2 hours, which wasn't so bad because I did find the process very fun. But, I didn't need to decorate the tree that very same day, so I let it stay for the next day. But if you want to do everything in one day, just let the tree dry for at least 2 hours. You will have some falling off the powder, but it's not a whole lot. It's not anything to really complain about. Just be gentle and you'll be good. I will admit though, guys, what made this process feel tiring was the spraying. Like, if you look at my hand was barely going at one point. It felt like it just wanted to die on me, but I had to get the job done. You will need to constantly refill your bottle. If you're using a small spray bottle like me, whenever the water ran out, I just went, I filled it up, and I just came right back. if you look closely, you're able to see some gold on my tree. Now, when I ran out of the spray last year, the white one that I used last year, I remember that I had a gold spray paint around, and so I grabbed it and I used it. So now my tree has traces of gold, but I really don't mind. Now, what I'm doing now is using the sifter method where I just grab some of the snow, the SnoFlock, and I place it in the sifter and I just go in and on the outside of the tree limbs and I just sift. This method actually gives you a more even look. It's very beautiful. It's the most commonly used method. So if you don't necessarily need clumps and you just want an even look throughout, this is the method that you'd want to be using. So this was the finished look of me flocking my tree. I was pretty pleased with how it turned out, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video or found it useful. And if you did, please remember to give this video a thumbs up. That would be really helpful for me. Leave a comment as well. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you would go through this process or if you would just use a spray paint. This was my tree decorated. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.